Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these top 10 rare Abraham Lincoln pennies that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the world of the United States 1-cent coin from 1979, a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to be discovered as a hidden treasure. While this coin might look like just another penny at first glance, there's more to it than meets the eye. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this small piece of history could be worth. The 1979 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, was produced during a pivotal time in U.S. history. The late 1970s were marked by economic uncertainty, with inflation on the rise, and the country facing political and social challenges. In 1979, the United States was also undergoing significant changes in its currency production. New designs and updated minting techniques were being explored as the U.S. sought to modernize its coinage and make it more secure. But what makes this particular coin so valuable? Well, like many coins, the rarity and condition play a huge role in determining its value. The 1979 penny was minted in large numbers, so finding one is not difficult. However, if you dig a little deeper, you'll find that there's a specific variety of the 1979 penny that stands out from the rest. The 1979 wide AM penny. You might be wondering, what exactly is a wide AM penny, and why does it matter? The wide AM refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. If you look closely at most 1979 pennies, you'll notice that the A and M are fairly close together. But in the case of the wide AM variety, these two letters are spaced farther apart than usual, creating a distinct difference in appearance. This subtle variation was a result of a die that was used to strike these coins, and it makes them incredibly rare today. Now, this is where things get interesting. Although the 1979 penny was produced in vast quantities, very few examples of the wide AM variety exist, and finding one in excellent condition can be a real treasure. Collectors know that coins with rare die variations are highly desirable, and the wide AM penny from 1979 has become a highly sought-after specimen in the world of numismatics. But the rarity of this coin is not the only thing that makes it valuable. The condition of the coin is equally important. A penny that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth much more than one that has been heavily worn. The key to finding a valuable 1979 penny lies in its preservation. Coins that have minimal signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration can command much higher prices. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1979 wide AM penny have been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In addition to the wide AM variety, there are also other factors that can impact the value of your 1979 penny. For example, the mint mark on the coin, which indicates where it was produced, can also influence its worth. Coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint have no mint mark, while those produced at the Denver Mint feature a D mint mark. While the mint mark may not make as dramatic a difference in the value of a coin as the wide AM variety, it's still an important factor to consider when evaluating your collection. You might be wondering what kind of value we're talking about for a 1979 penny. Well, if you happen to have a 1979 wide AM penny in near-perfect condition, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune. The value of these rare coins has skyrocketed in recent years, as collectors and investors alike scramble to find these elusive specimens. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1979 wide AM penny have been known to fetch as much as $54,000. That's right, $54,000 for a single penny. Who would have thought that something so small and seemingly insignificant could hold so much value? If you happen to come across a 1979 penny in your collection, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look for that wide spacing between the A and M on the reverse side. If you spot it, you might just have a rare and valuable coin on your hands. The 1979 penny, particularly the wide AM variety, is a perfect example of how small details can make a big difference in the world of coin collecting. It also serves as a reminder that valuable coins can often be hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered by the right collector. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a casual collector, this coin is one that you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for. So, the next time you're sorting through your change or going through an old coin jar, remember that even a seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin could be worth a lot more than you think. Take a closer look at your 1979 pennies. You just might have a treasure waiting to be found. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching. Top 2, we're focusing on a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1980 United States 1 cent, or the penny. This little coin, which most of us have seen countless times, could actually be worth far more than you might think. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much the 1980 penny can be worth. In 1980, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies to meet the demand for everyday currency. The 1980 penny, like its predecessors, was made of a copper-plated zinc composition, and it features the iconic design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. For most people, this penny is just another piece of pocket change, but if you're a serious coin collector or numismatist, you know that the story behind this seemingly common coin is much more intriguing. So, what makes the 1980 penny stand out in the world of coin collecting? The answer lies in the rare varieties of this coin, as well as the unique factors that determine its value. While the vast majority of 1980 pennies are relatively low in value, just 1 cent to be exact, there is a rare version that can make this coin worth thousands of dollars. What sets these rarer versions apart is a small, yet crucial detail that many people might overlook: the mint mark. Most 1980 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't place a mint mark on the coin. However, a very limited number of 1980 pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, and these coins can fetch a much higher price due to their scarcity. While the difference may seem small, the value between the two can be quite significant. It's the rarer mint mark variations, especially those with slight errors or imperfections, that can significantly raise the value of the coin. But that's not all. There are also important factors to consider when determining the worth of a 1980 penny. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Like many other coins, a penny that is in uncirculated or near perfect condition will always be worth more than one that has been heavily worn or damaged. This is particularly true for the 1980 penny, as coins that have been preserved in excellent condition are highly prized by collectors. A coin with sharp details, no visible wear, and minimal discoloration can be sold for much more than a coin that's seen years of circulation. Now, let's talk about one of the most sought-after varieties of the 1980 penny, the 1980 double-die obverse penny. This rare and highly valuable coin features a noticeable doubling of the lettering and numbers on the obverse side, specifically the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. This error occurred during the minting process when the coin die was misaligned, resulting in the doubling effect. It's a subtle error, but to the trained eye, it's easy to spot. These double die varieties are some of the most desirable coins for collectors, as they are extremely rare and make for unique additions to any collection. If you happen to have a 1980 double die obverse penny in your possession, you may want to take a closer look to see if you have one of these rare specimens. Coins with this kind of error can fetch significant amounts of money at auctions and are highly sought after by those looking to add valuable pieces to their collections. Collectors also love coins with minting errors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces. In addition to the double die error, some 1980 pennies exhibit other interesting minting mistakes, such as off-center strikes, which occur when the coin is struck incorrectly during the production process. These types of errors are even rarer and make for some of the most prized and valuable coins in the numismatic world. So, how much is your 1980 penny really worth? If you have a 1980 double die obverse penny in exceptional condition, or one with another rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth a fortune. Depending on the rarity, condition, and error type, a 1980 penny could sell for as much as $45,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $45,000 for a single 1980 penny. It's amazing how such a small, everyday coin could hold such a large value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, the most unassuming coins can be worth a small fortune, especially when they have rare varieties or minting errors. Now, before you rush off to search through your collection of pennies, it's important to note that not all 1980 pennies will have this kind of value. The key is finding one with a minting error, especially the coveted double die obverse variety, and ensuring it's in great condition. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon one of these rare coins, you could be holding a piece of history that's worth much more than you ever imagined. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1980 penny? The first step is to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of doubling in the inscriptions, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see any doubling or other minting errors, be sure to get it professionally appraised. You never know, your 1980 penny could be worth thousands of dollars. Top 3, we have an exciting and rare find for you, the United States 1982 penny. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin you've seen 1,000 times, but this particular year holds a hidden treasure for those who know where to look. Believe it or not, the 1982 penny could be worth far more than its face value, and we're going to show you exactly why. Stick around until the end to discover just how much a 1982 penny could be worth today. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a significant change to the composition of the penny. Up until that time, the penny had been made primarily of copper, but with rising copper prices, the Mint began producing pennies using a new composition, 95% zinc and only 5% copper. This change, however, was not immediately perfect. Some pennies were struck with the new zinc-copper composition, while others were still minted with the older copper composition, creating a fascinating variety of coins. You might wonder, what makes these 1982 pennies so valuable? Well, this is where it gets interesting. There are actually two main types of 1982 pennies, the copper 1982 penny and the zinc 1982 penny. The copper version was produced in the early part of the year, before the switch to the new composition, while the zinc version was produced later in 1982. The key to understanding the value of these pennies lies in their composition and the year they were struck. Now, the real treasure in the 1982 penny world comes from a few rare varieties that have been discovered over the years. One of the most notable variations is the 1982 copper penny with a minting error. This particular error occurs when a copper penny was accidentally struck with the wrong zinc die, creating a coin that's made of copper but bears a minting flaw that is highly sought after by collectors. These copper pennies with zinc errors are incredibly rare, and finding one in good condition could make you the lucky owner of a valuable piece of numismatic history. In addition to this rare error, there are also some key factors that can influence the value of your 1982 penny. First and foremost, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. Coins that have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than coins that have been heavily worn or damaged from years of circulation. A 1982 penny that is in excellent condition, with no scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear, can easily be worth more than a penny in its original state. Another important factor is the mint mark. As with many other U.S. coins, the mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, whether it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, or the San Francisco Mint. While most 1982 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, without a mint mark, a few were struck at the Denver Mint, and even fewer were produced at the San Francisco Mint, where proof coins were made. These pennies, especially those produced at the San Francisco Mint, are harder to find and could carry a higher value due to their rarity. What makes the 1982 penny particularly exciting for collectors is that the variety of possible errors and variations, especially when paired with excellent condition, leads to a significant price difference. If you have a 1982 copper penny in near-perfect condition with no visible wear, it could be worth much more than you expect. Now, we get to the most exciting part, the potential value of your 1982 penny. While most 1982 pennies are worth just 1 cent, a rare, well-preserved 1982 copper penny with a minting error or other unique characteristic could sell for a jaw-dropping amount. In fact, if you have a 1982 penny with one of these rare errors, or a beautifully preserved copper variety in excellent condition, it could be worth as much as $44,000, that's right, $44,000 for a single 1982 penny. It might sound unbelievable, but coins like these are incredibly valuable to collectors and investors who are looking for rare and unique pieces to add to their collections. A coin that has survived for decades, unscathed by time, and with a rare error or special characteristic, could fetch a price that is far beyond its humble beginnings. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1982 penny? The first step is to take a close look at the coin. Examine it carefully for any signs of minting errors, such as doubling or improper strikes. Next, check the condition of the coin. If it looks like it has been in pristine condition, or if it has some unusual characteristics like the copper-zinc composition error, you might want to get it professionally appraised. Remember, coin collecting is all about finding the rare and the unique, and sometimes, even a coin that seems ordinary can turn out to be worth a fortune. So, the next time you're going through your change or coin collection, don't overlook those 1982 pennies. You might just be holding a piece of history that could make you thousands of dollars richer. Top 4, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1987 US penny. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another everyday penny, but you'd be surprised to learn that it holds some serious value in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to explore the world of rare coins, today's video is packed with interesting details about the 1987 penny and why it might be worth far more than its face value. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at the potential worth of this seemingly ordinary coin. The 1987 penny, just like most other pennies produced in the US, features the well-known image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. At first glance, there's nothing too unusual about the design. It's the classic penny you're probably used to seeing. However, what makes this coin special is the key to unlocking its hidden value: the condition, the rarity, and the potential for minting errors. Most 1987 pennies were produced with the standard copper-plated zinc composition, a material change that had taken place earlier in the 1980s. While millions of these pennies were minted in 1987, what sets some apart is their exceptional condition and their potential to have been part of a rare minting error. Over time, certain batches of coins get circulated extensively, which means the vast majority of pennies from this year show signs of wear and tear. However, coins that have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition are much harder to find and can be worth a lot more. Now, let's talk about the error variety that makes the 1987 penny a sought-after treasure among collectors. Some 1987 pennies were struck with unique minting errors, most notably the famous doubled die variety. A double die error occurs when the coin dies used to strike the penny were misaligned, causing the design to be stamped onto the coin twice, with a noticeable shift or doubling effect. This error typically shows up in the inscriptions, especially the "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse of the coin. These types of errors are relatively rare and make a coin much more valuable. For example, the 1987 double die penny can often be spotted by looking at the letters of Liberty. If you look closely, you'll notice a subtle double image in the letters, especially the L and I, which gives away the error. The more pronounced and clear the doubling is, the more valuable the coin becomes. These double die errors are highly sought after by collectors because they're not only rare, but also serve as a unique example of a minting mistake that happened during production. Another key factor in determining the value of a 1987 penny is its mint mark. As with most US coins, the mint mark reveals where the coin was produced. The Philadelphia Mint, where the majority of pennies are struck, doesn't use a mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins have a D mint mark. For the 1987 penny, the vast majority were minted in Philadelphia, but finding one that was produced at the Denver Mint could increase its value, especially if it has any minting errors or is in particularly excellent condition. It's important to mention that the condition of the coin plays a significant role in its market value. For a coin to be considered valuable, it must be in excellent, uncirculated condition, meaning it should have been kept away from damage, scratches, and discoloration. If you happen to have a 1987 penny that is in near-perfect condition, it could be worth much more than you'd expect. A coin that looks almost as good as the day it was minted is going to be highly sought after by serious collectors and investors. So, you might be wondering, how much could a 1987 penny be worth? While most of the 1987 pennies circulating today are worth just 1 cent, there are certain rare varieties, especially the double die errors, that could make this coin worth thousands of dollars. If you happen to come across one of these rare error coins, you could be holding a piece of history that is far more valuable than you thought. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1987 double die penny, especially those in pristine condition, have been known to sell for as much as $42,000, that's right, $42,000 for a single 1987 penny. It's truly remarkable how a coin that is often taken for granted could be worth such a significant amount of money. The rarity, condition, and unique features like minting errors are what make certain coins stand out in the numismatic world, and the 1987 penny is no exception. So, the next time you're sifting through your pocket change or going through an old coin jar, don't overlook the 1987 pennies you find. Take a close look at them. Is there a double die error? Is the coin in perfect condition? If so, you could be holding onto something truly valuable. Top 5, we're bringing you an exciting discovery about a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1988 United States penny. At first glance, you might think it's just another copper-plated zinc penny, but don't be fooled. This small coin has a fascinating history, and it could be worth far more than you might expect. In fact, you could be holding onto a rare and valuable piece of numismatic history without even knowing it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by how much the 1988 penny could actually be worth. The 1988 penny, like most pennies from the late 20th century, was minted with the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These coins were part of the United States Mint's regular production during a period when the penny was still made primarily of a copper-plated zinc composition. Millions of these pennies were struck in 1988 and circulated widely across the country, but not all of them are created equal. In fact, certain 1988 pennies have qualities that make them highly sought after by collectors. What sets the 1988 penny apart from the rest? First and foremost, the value of any coin is determined by its rarity, condition, and potential for minting errors. While most 1988 pennies might not be worth more than 1 cent, there are certain key factors that can make some of them incredibly valuable. Let's start with condition. Just like any other coin, a penny that is in pristine, uncirculated condition will be worth much more than one that has been worn down through years of circulation. If you happen to have a 1988 penny that looks almost as fresh as the day it was minted, you're off to a good start. Coins that have sharp details, no scratches, and no discoloration are in high demand among collectors because they are far rarer than their worn counterparts. Now, let's dive into something even more exciting: the potential for minting errors. Minting errors are one of the most sought-after features in the world of coin collecting. They happen when a coin is struck incorrectly, and they can make a coin drastically more valuable. There are a few types of errors that could make a 1988 penny particularly valuable. For example, one of the most prized varieties of the 1988 penny is the double die error. This type of error occurs when the coin dies are misaligned, causing certain parts of the coin design to be struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the images. On the 1988 penny, you might notice that the "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" inscriptions are doubled, with a faint shadow or second image next to the original design. This subtle mistake can make a huge difference in the coin's value. It's a rare error, and coins with this type of flaw are highly coveted by collectors. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be struck in an off-center manner. Off-center strikes are highly collectible because they are unique and hard to find. Even slight off-center errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin, so if you have a 1988 penny with this type of mistake, you might be in for a big surprise. Let's not forget about the mint mark. The mint mark shows where the coin was produced, whether it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't use a mint mark, the Denver Mint, marked with a D, or the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. While most 1988 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint and lack a mint mark, there were some minted in Denver that are more limited and could be worth slightly more. So, with all of these factors at play, condition, rarity, and minting errors, how much could your 1988 penny really be worth? While most 1988 pennies are worth only 1 cent, a penny that is in exceptional condition or has a rare minting error could be worth much more. In fact, if you happen to have a 1988 penny with a double die error, off-center strike, or another rare characteristic, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to $41,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $41,000 for a single 1988 penny. It's truly amazing how a coin that is so common could hold such a high value. The rarity of these error varieties, combined with excellent condition, makes the 1988 penny one of the most valuable coins from the 1980s. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1988 penny? Start by carefully inspecting the coin. Look for any signs of doubling on the design, especially the inscriptions on the obverse. Check for any minting errors, such as an off-center strike, and take note of the coin's condition. If your 1988 penny is in great shape and has any of these rare features, you'll want to get it professionally graded and appraised. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare 1988 pennies, you could be looking at a significant windfall. Remember, coin collecting is all about the thrill of the hunt and the discovery of those hidden gems. Your 1988 penny might just be the next big find. Top 6. We're diving into the world of rare and valuable coins to explore the 1991 United States penny, a coin that, at first glance, might not seem very exciting. However, you'd be surprised to learn that this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth far more than its face value. If you've ever wondered if you have a hidden gem lurking in your coin collection, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to look for in a 1991 penny that could make it worth thousands of dollars. The 1991 penny was part of the ongoing production of U.S. pennies during the late 20th century. These coins were made using the standard copper-plated zinc composition that became widespread after the early 1980s. While millions of these pennies were struck, circulated, and used in everyday transactions, not all of them are equally valuable. There are key factors that make certain 1991 pennies particularly sought after by collectors, and today, we'll break down what you need to know about identifying these valuable coins. The first important factor to consider when evaluating a 1991 penny is its condition. If you come across a 1991 penny that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it will automatically be more valuable than one that shows significant signs of wear and tear. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and no scratches, are much rarer and more desirable. Over time, most coins in circulation tend to show signs of handling, wear, and damage, so finding a 1991 penny that remains in near-perfect condition is relatively rare and can dramatically increase the coin's value. Next, we need to talk about minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, creating a unique or unusual coin. These errors can take many forms: doubling, off-center strikes, or other irregularities that make the coin stand out from the rest. If a 1991 penny happens to have one of these rare minting errors, it could be worth significantly more than the standard issue. One of the most notable and valuable minting errors you might find on a 1991 penny is a double die. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or improperly manufactured, resulting in a double impression of the design on the coin. On a 1991 penny, you might notice doubling in the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. If you see a clear doubling of these letters, especially on the obverse side of the coin, you're looking at a valuable error variety. Coins with clear doubling are highly sought after by collectors, making the 1991 double-die penny one of the most desirable finds in modern coin collecting. Another minting error to watch for is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank, planchet, isn't perfectly centered in the coin press, causing the design to be struck slightly off-center. Off-center strikes are unique and collectible because they are different from a standard issue. If you find a 1991 penny with this type of error, you could be looking at a coin worth significantly more than its face value. In addition to errors and excellent condition, the mint mark can also impact a 1991 penny's value. The mint mark reveals where the coin was produced: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; Denver Mint, marked with a D, or San Francisco Mint, marked with an S for proof coins. Most 1991 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, but those struck at the Denver Mint or San Francisco Mint can be rarer and could command higher prices, especially if they exhibit any unusual characteristics like minting errors. Now, let's talk about the value of a 1991 penny. While the majority of 1991 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there are certain rare varieties and minting errors that can turn this common coin into a valuable collector's item. A 1991 penny with a clear double die or an off-center strike could be worth thousands of dollars. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1991 double die or error coins can fetch up to $39,000, that's right, $39,000 for a single 1991 penny. It's amazing to think that such a small piece of metal can hold such incredible value. The rarity of these minting errors, combined with excellent condition, is what makes certain 1991 pennies so valuable. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare coins, you could be sitting on a real treasure. So, what should you do if you suspect you have a valuable 1991 penny? First, take a close look at the coin to see if it shows any signs of minting errors, like doubling or an off-center strike. Check the condition of the coin. If it looks nearly new, without scratches or discoloration, it's definitely worth a closer look. If you find a 1991 penny that appears uncirculated and has one of these rare minting errors, you might want to get it professionally graded and appraised. Coin collecting is all about finding those hidden gems, and sometimes, a coin that looks completely ordinary can turn out to be worth a fortune. Don't overlook your 1991 pennies, as you never know when you might have a rare error variety or an exceptionally well-preserved coin. Top 7. We're taking a closer look at a coin that you might not think twice about, a 1992 US penny. But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny could actually hold a secret worth thousands of dollars? Yes, you heard me right. This little coin, often dismissed as just another copper-plated penny, could be hiding an incredible value. So, stick around, because in just a few minutes, you'll be amazed at what makes the 1992 penny so special and how much it could actually be worth. The 1992 penny is part of the regular circulation coins minted during the early 1990s. It features the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, just like other pennies produced in that era. While most of these pennies were struck in vast numbers and spent in daily transactions, not all of them are worth only 1 cent. If you have a 1992 penny, especially one in mint condition or with a rare error, you might just have a coin that's worth a lot more than you think. So, what exactly makes a 1992 penny so valuable? The first thing to know is that the value of a coin depends on its rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics it might possess. Like many other modern coins, the 1992 penny is relatively common, but there are certain features that can make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. The most important factor is the coin's condition. You see, most pennies that were minted in the 1990s were spent quickly and went through years of circulation. Over time, they became worn, scratched, and damaged from daily use. However, a penny that has been carefully preserved, whether by a collector or simply through good fortune, can be worth much more than its face value. If you have a 1992 penny that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, with sharp details and minimal wear, you're in luck. Coins like these are much rarer than those that have been heavily circulated, and they are highly sought after by collectors. but the real excitement comes when we talk about minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that's different from the intended design. These errors are rare, and some can make a coin incredibly valuable. When it comes to the 1992 penny, there are a few key errors to look for that could make your coin worth a fortune. One of the most sought-after minting errors for the 1992 penny is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin die, the tool that stamps the design onto the coin, is misaligned, causing the design to be struck more than once. The result? Double images on the coin. For a 1992 penny, you might notice that the word Liberty or In God We Trust appears doubled, with a faint shadow or a second set of images. This kind of error is highly coveted among collectors, as it is rare and makes the coin stand out from others. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin's blank metal planchet isn't properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be struck off-center. Off-center strikes are unique and can make a coin very collectible. Even a slight off-center error can increase a coin's value, as it's a one-of-a-kind feature that you won't find on regular, correctly struck pennies. In addition to errors, the mint mark can also play a role in a 1992 penny's value. The mint mark tells you where the coin was produced: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Most 1992 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and don't carry a mint mark, but some were produced at the Denver Mint and feature a D mint mark. If you happen to have a Denver minted 1992 penny, it could be a bit more valuable, especially if it's in excellent condition or has a rare error. Now, here's the most exciting part: just how much could a 1992 penny be worth? While most 1992 pennies are worth just 1 cent, those with minting errors or in perfect, uncirculated condition can fetch a much higher price. The real value lies in coins that have rare characteristics, like the double die error or an off-center strike, along with excellent preservation. If you happen to own a 1992 penny with these traits, it could be worth as much as $37,000, yes, that's right, $37,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how a small mistake during the minting process can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare treasure. A 1992 penny with a clear minting error or in pristine condition can be worth a small fortune, and for collectors, finding one of these rarities is a dream come true. If you think you have a valuable 1992 penny, it's worth taking a closer look. Inspect the coin carefully for any signs of minting errors, like doubling or an off-center strike. Also, check the condition. If it's well preserved and looks as though it has just come from the mint, you're already off to a great start. And if you spot any unusual features or mistakes, you might want to get the coin professionally graded to determine its true value. In the world of coin collecting, finding a rare coin like this can be like striking gold, and if you've got a 1992 penny with a minting error or excellent condition, you could be holding on to a real treasure. Top 8. We're diving into a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, the 1993 United States penny. But don't let its simple appearance fool you, because this little coin could actually be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready, because in this video, we're going to show you how the 1993 penny might just be the hidden treasure you've been looking for. The 1993 penny, part of the ongoing production of U.S. coins, was made with the classic copper-plated zinc composition and features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If you're a collector or simply a coin enthusiast, this may sound pretty standard to you, but the value of a coin isn't always determined by its basic design. It's what's inside, or rather, what makes each coin unique, that can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Most of the 1993 pennies that were struck by the U.S. Mint have been spent and used for everyday transactions, so they're not particularly rare in the grand scheme of things. However, there are certain factors that could make a 1993 penny much more valuable than its face value. The first factor is condition. The value of any coin, including the 1993 penny, is highly influenced by its condition. Most pennies that have been in circulation for decades show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and fading are all common in coins that have passed through many hands. But what if you were lucky enough to come across a 1993 penny that looks just as sharp and crisp as the day it was minted? Well, you're in luck, because pennies in pristine, uncirculated condition are highly sought after by collectors. The better the condition, the higher the potential value, and finding a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect state is rare, but it doesn't stop there. Minting errors are another key factor that can significantly boost the value of a 1993 penny. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, causing a coin to differ from its intended design. Minting errors can make a coin incredibly unique, and certain errors are extremely desirable among collectors. For example, one of the most prized errors that could make a 1993 penny worth thousands is the double die error. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. On a 1993 penny, you might notice this error in the inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," where you'll see a faint shadow or second set of impressions. If you find a 1993 penny with this error, it can significantly increase the coin's value, as it's a rare and sought-after feature. Another minting error to look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin's planchet, the blank metal disc, isn't properly aligned in the press, resulting in a design that is struck off-center. Off-center pennies are unique and make for highly collectible coins. Even a slight misalignment can turn an ordinary 1993 penny into a valuable treasure. Additionally, there are a few other rarities you might find within the 1993 penny series that could make a coin stand out. Certain coins that were produced at different U.S. mint locations, such as the Denver or San Francisco mints, can be rarer, especially when paired with minting errors. Most 1993 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, so finding one from a different mint could increase its value. Now, we get to the most exciting part of the video, the big reveal. You might be wondering just how much a 1993 penny could actually be worth. Well, hold on to your seats, because a 1993 penny that is in pristine, uncirculated condition or features a rare minting error, such as a double die or an off-center strike, could be worth as much as $34,000, that's right, $34,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small could be worth such an extraordinary amount of money, but that's the magic of coin collecting. With the right combination of condition, rarity, and unique features, even a seemingly common penny like the 1993 can turn into a collector's jackpot. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1993 penny? Start by inspecting the coin closely. Look for any signs of minting errors, such as doubling or an off-center strike. If you spot any unusual features, it's worth having the coin professionally graded to confirm its value. And don't forget to check the condition. If it's well preserved, you might have a hidden gem on your hands. Top 9, we're talking about a coin that might surprise you, the 1994 United States penny. While most people think of pennies as just loose change, this particular coin has a value that could make your jaw drop. Stick with us, because we're about to reveal why the 1994 penny might just be the hidden treasure you didn't know you had. The 1994 penny, like many of the pennies minted in the 1990s, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design has been a part of U.S. currency since 1909, and in 1994, it was still in full circulation. So, why does this particular penny from 1994 have a higher value than you might expect? Well, the answer lies in rarity, condition, and certain minting errors that can make a simple penny worth far more than its face value. Let's start by talking about condition. If you've ever been to a coin shop or followed any coin auctions, you've probably heard that condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. A penny that's been circulating for decades can show signs of wear, including scratches, discoloration, and general damage from constant handling. However, a penny in mint condition, that is, one that's been kept in excellent shape since it was first minted, can be quite valuable to collectors. The rarity of a coin is another important factor. While the 1994 penny was produced in huge quantities, after all, it's a common coin in the U.S. mint's history, it's important to remember that not all of these pennies are still in circulation, and even fewer have been well preserved. If you happen to come across a 1994 penny that's in near-perfect condition, you've got something special on your hands. Coins like these are harder to find, and collectors are always on the lookout for pennies that have been kept in pristine shape. Now, let's take it a step further and talk about minting errors. These errors are some of the most exciting things to look for in a coin. When something goes wrong during the minting process, it can result in a coin with unique characteristics that aren't part of the intended design. Minting errors can be extremely rare, and the more unusual the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. For the 1994 penny, one of the most desirable minting errors is the double die error. This error occurs when the die used to strike the design onto the coin is misaligned, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. You might notice this on words like liberty or in God we trust, where a faint second set of letters is visible. This kind of error is highly sought after by collectors because it's rare, and a double die penny can be worth a lot more than a standard one. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. An off-center penny occurs when the metal planchet, the blank piece of metal that's stamped to create the coin, is improperly aligned in the press, resulting in a coin that has an incomplete or shifted design. These types of errors make the coin more interesting and unique, and they can also greatly increase its value. Even a small off-center error can add significant worth to a 1994 penny, especially if it's in good condition. Beyond minting errors, certain versions of the 1994 penny that were struck at different U.S. mint locations may also carry extra value. Most of the 1994 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but there were also pennies struck at the Denver Mint that feature a small D mint mark. Though not as rare as those with minting errors, these D mint-marked pennies are still more limited than those from the Philadelphia Mint and can be a bit more valuable. So, how much is a 1994 penny really worth? Well, the value can vary depending on a few factors: its condition, whether it has any minting errors, and where it was struck. But if you happen to find a 1994 penny that's in uncirculated condition or features a rare minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth much more than you expected. In fact, a 1994 penny with these rare features and in excellent condition could be worth as much as $32,000. That's right, $32,000 for a penny. It may sound unbelievable, but this is the kind of value you can find in the world of coin collecting when you're dealing with rare and unique coins that are well preserved. Imagine this: you're going through a jar of old pennies, and you come across a 1994 penny with a double die error. Or perhaps it's in flawless condition, like it's just been taken out of a fresh roll of pennies. You might be holding onto a coin that could fetch a life-changing amount of money. And that's the beauty of coin collecting: you never know what you might find, even in the most seemingly ordinary coins. If you think you might have a valuable 1994 penny, it's time to take a closer look. Examine the coin for any signs of minting errors, like doubling on the lettering or an off-center strike. Also, check the condition. If it's shiny, well-defined, and has little to no wear, you're in a great position. If you find something that seems like a rare error, it's worth getting the coin professionally graded to determine its true value. Top 10 and last rare coin for you. We're going to talk about a coin that might seem pretty ordinary at first glance, but trust me, it could be worth much more than you think: the 2000 United States penny. While most people wouldn't give it a second thought, this particular penny could hold the key to a surprising windfall. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why a 2000 penny could be worth thousands of dollars. The 2000 penny, like the many other pennies that were produced in the late 1990s and early 2000s, features the well-known image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But while the design might look like any other penny, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. To understand its true value, we need to take a closer look at its rarity, condition, and some of the key factors that can drive its worth up. First off, let's talk about condition. As you probably know, the value of any coin is heavily influenced by how well it has been preserved. The 2000 penny, like all other coins, was minted in large quantities, and many of them have been through countless transactions. Most of the coins you'll come across will show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or fading, which make them less valuable. However, if you happen to find a 2000 penny that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, unblemished, shiny, and without any signs of damage, you could be holding a very valuable coin. Coins that have been well maintained, especially those that have never been circulated, are always in high demand among collectors, but it's not just about how the coin looks, it's also about how rare it is. The US Mint produces billions of pennies every year, and the 2000 penny is no exception. While it's not necessarily a rare coin, certain conditions or minting errors can make it much harder to find and much more valuable. In fact, some 2000 pennies are considered rare due to specific errors that occurred during the minting process. Minting errors are one of the biggest ways a seemingly ordinary coin can jump in value. When something goes wrong during production, it can create a coin that's different from the rest, and collectors love these kinds of unique pieces. One of the most valuable errors you might find on a 2000 penny is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die, a tool used to stamp the design onto the penny, malfunctions, causing the design to be struck more than once, creating a double image. If you come across a 2000 penny with a double die, especially in areas like Liberty or In God We Trust, you could have a coin that's worth much more than face value. Double die coins are highly sought after, as they are much rarer than standard pennies, and they can fetch a pretty penny themselves in the collector's market. Another minting error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the metal planchet, the blank piece of metal that gets struck to create the coin, is improperly positioned in the press. As a result, the design appears off-center, and part of the coin is left blank. Off-center pennies are exciting for collectors because they are not only unique but also a fun conversation piece. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can be. Even a minor off-center strike can make a 2000 penny worth significantly more than the standard 1-cent value. Beyond minting errors, it's important to consider the mint mark on the coin. Most 2000 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but a smaller number of pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a D. While the Denver Mint pennies are not as rare as those with minting errors, they can still hold a bit more value than their Philadelphia counterparts, especially in higher grades. The difference in mint marks can make certain 2000 pennies more collectible and desirable to certain buyers. Now, let's talk about how much a 2000 penny could actually be worth. Given that the 2000 penny is so common and has been in circulation for years, you might be wondering what makes it so valuable. Well, if you happen to have a 2000 penny that's in excellent condition or one that features a rare minting error, like the double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth a lot more than just a penny. In fact, a 2000 penny with these characteristics could be worth as much as $29,000. That's right, $29,000 for a single penny. It may seem unbelievable, but that's the kind of value these rare and unique coins can have. When you come across a penny that has an error or is in pristine condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Coins like these are incredibly desirable to collectors, and their value can skyrocket in the right market. If you think you have a 2000 penny that might be worth a lot more than its face value, it's time to start inspecting it closely. Look for any signs of minting errors, like doubling or off-center strikes. Also, check the condition. If it looks brand new, it could be worth much more than you realize. And if you find something truly unique, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service to confirm its value. That's all for today's video on the 2000 United States penny and its hidden value. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. You never know, your next big find could be a coin worth thousands of dollars. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.